Let's begin this module with a question. After exchanging media options, are both user agents ready to begin exchanging media packets? Have a think and press play when you're ready. So, after exchanging media options, are the user agents ready to exchange media? Well, that's the topic of this module. By the time we're done, you should understand the process of negotiating media and how media negotiation must be complete before media packets can be exchanged. We'll begin with SIP's definition of the word negotiate. When I think of negotiating, I think of the exchange we might have at the market. I ask, how much is that? £1, replies the seller. £1, I say. How about 20 pence? I'll take 80, and so on, back and forth until a price is agreed. The term negotiating implies this back and forth interaction, offering, reoffering, and perhaps compromising until an agreement is found. Now, this is not how SIP defines negotiation. There's no back and forth. It's much simpler than that. Negotiating media is only a two-part exchange. The invite request that conveys in one go the caller's media options, and the 200 OK that conveys also in one go the callee's media options. In the invite, caller tells callee the IP and ports he's listening on and the codecs he's willing to use, 8 and 0. And in the 200, callee tells caller the IP and ports he's listening on and the codecs he's willing to use, also 8 and 0. That's it. There's no back and forth negotiating like at the market. Hang on a moment. If both parties offer codecs 8 and 0, then with no further discussion, which of those codecs do they actually use? Well, it's simple. Here's how it works. We know that when the invite request is sent over the network, it includes the UAC's media options. What this really means is that the UAC is ready to receive media encoded with any of the offered codecs, PCMA or PCMU in this case, at any time during the call. Literally, either codec at any time during the call. Likewise, when the UAS returns the 200 OK complete with its media options, it's really saying, I'm ready to receive media packets encoded with any of my codecs, GSM, PCMA or PCMU, at any time during the call. Again, literally any of these codecs at any time during the call. So, with multiple codecs on offer, well, which one should they use? Here's the rule. Encode media with any of the offered codecs. You choose. So the UAC could choose GSM, PCMA or PCMU. Any will be gratefully received at the other side. For now, let's say it chooses PCMA and gets busy encoding and sending PCMA packets out across the network. At the same time, on the other side, the UAS asks the same question. Which codec shall I use? Well, the same rule applies. Encode media with any of the offered codecs. Any will be fine with the UAC. Let's say the UAS chooses PCMU and begins encoding and transmitting media using the PCMU codec. Interesting, eh? How there's no requirement for the two parties to use the same codec. What's even more interesting is that a user agent can change codecs at any time during the call without renegotiating the session, so long as it's one of the originally offered codecs. So there's nothing to stop the callee user agent here changing its mind partway through the call and without any signaling exchange, without any renegotiation, suddenly stop transmitting PCMU encoded media and begin transmitting PCMA encoded media. This does happen from time to time, so be ready for it. Right, back at the start of the course, we discussed how a voice over IP protocol like SIP needs to do two things. Help both parties know each other's location and help them know which codecs to use. Now, it's by exchanging media options in the invite and the 200 OK that SIP meets one of these needs, helping both parties know which codecs to use. So, now you know the rule, take a look at these media options. Which codecs could be used for this call? Have a think and press play when you're ready. Which codec? None. The caller offers 8 and 0, and the callee offers only 4. That's G723. There are no codecs common to both lists. Well, what now? The invite is rejected with a 415 unsupported media type. Now, this doesn't actually happen very often, but beware that it could. So, in summary, negotiating media options is a simple two-message exchange. In the invite, the caller tells the callee what codecs he's got, the media types he can receive, and in the 200, the callee tells the caller what codecs he's got, the media types he can receive. Both parties can then choose whichever media type they prefer to transmit. They don't have to exchange media of the same type, and they can even switch codecs during the call without any signalling exchange or renegotiation. There's no back and forth in initial session negotiation. The rule is that each user agent tells the other what media types it's happy to receive, and each are okay to use any of those offered codecs. If a caller and callee don't have a common codec, well, the invite's rejected with a 415 unsupported media type, and the call will fail.